horrible fumble, you guys. We called this though, right? Like the second they announced that Joker 2 was going to be a musical, I was like, what the fuck? No. And I was against it from the get-go. And apparently everybody agrees because it stumbled horribly. Now, if you guys don't know, Joker Folie à Deux, $190 something million budget, almost $200 million before marketing and distribution. So probably somewhere in the $240 million range, okay? In order to break even, it has to make double that just to break even. And then it has to go into profit well down the line. Well, guess what? It made $37 million on the opening weekend. This movie will not be profitable for Warner Brothers. It will, because it's going to die. If it's even in the top 5 this weekend, I would be shocked. It came out with $20 million on Friday, quickly dropped to 17, and then down to 11. It was awful. I mean, that was like, dum, dum, dum. Normally you pick up on Saturday and then see a level off on Sunday, but it just nosedived on Saturday, meaning the people that saw it on the Thursday night previews on Friday fucking hated it. It's 33% and 31% on Rotten Tomato between critics and fans, and Cinema Score was like a D-. People hate it. I mean, and I guess here's the confusing thing. And spoilers, I'm sorry guys, but spoilers. And I think this is playing massively into the stumble though, of why people just aren't digging it. Apparently it comes out that he's not Joker. He is not Joker. It was all a setup, apparently, for Heath Ledger's Joker. Apparently Heath Ledger's Joker in Christopher Nolan's Batman was inspired to become the Joker because of Arthur Fleck. Now, there are rumors going about that before Nolan left, he heard about this film, did not like the ending, wanted no part of it, and demanded that it be changed. Is he responsible for this change that apparently we see Heath Ledger's Joker cut his face after we see a dead Arthur Fleck next to him? And that's what... Did he make that change? Did he not make that change? Is that just a rumor? Is it total book? We don't know, but we do know that Todd Phillips did clarify Arthur Fleck is not Joker. And the guy you see next to him at the end of the movie is. I think that just pissed people off. He doesn't end up... He professes his love, apparently, to Harley Quinn. He's all in. He just wants to be a normal guy and have a relationship and be in love with somebody that saw him for who he was. And she dumps him after he's not Joker. She's like, oh, you're not who I thought you were. Which blows the whole myth because Harley is in love with Joker even though he's Joker. Even though he is psychotic and treats her like shit. She's all in for him. So the idea that you're ruining that and saying he's not Joker and... I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just horrible.
It seems like a big old trash dumpster fire. I just went back and looked at the original, which, you know, Joaquin Phoenix won an Oscar for this film. And opening weekend for the original was $96 million.
Yeah.
So that's a huge drop off. And we've been seeing things all around now that even Joaquin thought the film was bad.
Yeah.
I saw, I think it was at TIFF, he looks over to Lady Gaga and says that was a bad film. And she's joking, and she thought he's joking and just like, are you serious? And he's like, no, yeah, that was a horrible film. So yeah, it's very unfortunate because, I mean, as someone who was very uncomfortable by the first film and didn't really like it, but because it's a lot to take on. I really kind of wanted to see the second one just as a filmmaker standpoint because it looked really good. Like it looked like it was shot very beautifully. But I mean, now with all the reviews and everything else that's going on, I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait till it comes on a streamer and see it there. But yeah, it's very unfortunate because like I said, with it being the first one being critically acclaimed, like I don't know, man. I don't know. And I've heard that Lady Gaga's like barely even in it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's another thing. I'm just what is happening here? I really don't get it. It's a big L for Warner Brothers
Yeah, and
because they had a lot riding on that thing.
yeah, they were banking on it from the first. I mean, the first one. Remember, guys, until Deadpool and Wolverine, the first Joker movie was the highest rated. I mean, highest money grossing R-rated movie in history. I mean, it made over $1 billion at the worldwide box office. It was huge, and I think they just thought this one was going to do that, and it's like, oops. I just, which is bad because. And I think this is why, because I recently saw that James Gunn has now said that moving forward, every single DC comic book movie is going to fall under the DCU banner. Remember before they were saying Elseworld? It would be an Elseworld if it fell outside of it, like Joker kind of. He said moving forward, they are now all under the DCU banner. What does that mean? Does that mean now that Matt Reeves' Pattinson Batman is going to be under are they going to coexist with a different Batman? Because if you're not going to do Elseworld anymore, I'm not quite sure, because he said over and over and over again Pattinson's Batman, while he's a huge fan of it, is not his Batman. Well, then why are you saying you're taking away the Elseworld thing to separate it? I that confuses me. I don't know what he means by that. My personal opinion, I think he should stick with Pattinson's Batman and make that the Batman in the DCU, because if you look at the massive success of that movie, and now you look at the massive success of Penguin, the number one show on television right now is Penguin, and it's loved by critics, it's loved by fans, it's killing it. I think people like that Batman. They like that Gotham City. They like that, and isn't the whole point of the Batman Superman dynamic is one is nothing but light and hope, and the other one is dark and brooding? It's the two very different people with the same goal. Well, you can't, if you look at Gunn's new Superman and you look at Pattinson's Batman with Matt Reeves, that's them. That's dark and brooding and bright and hopeful. Like, I don't know. That's what I think. But I think if you're going to continue to try to pull away from the comics like Joker 2 did, you're going to stumble. I don't think fans want that.
Well, I mean, especially if, that, like, I think, you bring in Matt Reeves' Batman. I think that would be very smart, especially because they don't seem like they ever want to do a Joker 3. So just have that be what it was, that standalone thing, and then just completely start over new with this. Because, I mean, from what I've never heard anyone, like, badmouth the Batman.
Yeah, no.
Like, people loved that film. So I just think it would only be smart. And I think Corn Sweat and Pattinson would work fantastic together. Later down the line. Of course, we can't rush that, DC. We can't rush that because we've seen how that happens before.
Right.
But I do think they would work well together, and I'm hoping that that would happen further down the line in the DC universe.
And they're similar in age. Corn Sweat, I think's a tad older, but that's what it's, because remember, Gunn has said that Superman in this new movie, he's already been Superman. It's not a year one type thing. He's been established. And Batman, we clearly saw in The Batman, it was only his first or second year in the cowl. He's still got, so that would make sense. And then if you recast Wonder Woman with like an Ana de Armas or somebody along that same age range, you have your Trinity, and they're all young enough that you could do it for the next 20, 30 years and you'd be fine, right? So I just feel like that's probably the direction I would go, but I'm not Gunn and I'm not Safran, so I don't know. But it just seems like a no-brainer to me. If something is working, don't break it. And Matt Reeves' Batman is working. So don't fuck it up. Just don't fuck it up. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.